This is NEA Report. This is Stan Morris reporting, and we are here with breaking news as the arrest of this individual has been announced as the result of the investigation and the search for the missing girl we told you about last night. We want to catch up to date on everything that's been transpiring in this case as everybody begins to join us live. A lot of breaking news happening this morning. Here's what happened and led to the discovery and the finding of the young girl, as well as the discovery of the suspect. This all just came down in a press release that you can read at neareport.com if you would like to check it out. The individual you're looking at is 24-year-old Keegan Bryce Tash. He is a resident of Poplar Bluff, but he works in Pocahontas, and that's, as a matter of fact, where police made contact with him at. Detectives with the Jonesboro Police Department received information that the vehicle seen in the video footage, the vehicle we showed you all throughout the day yesterday, this one right here, let me show it there. I'm scrolling through the story itself to show you that on the screen. They received information that that vehicle belonged to this man, Keegan Bryce Tash, 24, of Poplar Bluff. But they also found out that he worked in Pocahontas. That's where they contacted him, and they made contact with him at his job. Yes, it sounds a little bit strange, and it's going to sound even more strange because he told officers he had been in contact with Sloan through a chat-based app, which is unfortunate because we keep hearing about those popping up and often being one of the links that people use to catch children in a weird situation. He said he drove to Jonesboro to pick her up. From there, it says that Sloan was taken to his home in Missouri. And then he went to work. Strange. It says a request was made of Butler County Sheriff's deputies to attempt to locate the girl at his residence in Poplar Bluff. Sure enough, they found her at his home. She was taken back to the custody of her parents and was back home early this morning. We found out through a family member that posted on NEA Report that she was back home, which is great news. Meanwhile, Tash placed under arrest and charged with interference with custody, a Class C felony. Like we told you, whenever somebody takes a juvenile across state lines, it's a felony. And that's what happened here. Detectives hope to have Tash in court soon for a probable cause hearing. That's according to the press release that was just sent out a short time ago from Jonesboro Police Department. We came at you live yesterday, and over 40,000 views to the missing story we told you about of the young girl who was believed to have ran away, but was also seen getting in this vehicle. So, police didn't exactly know what happened or the entire context, and they're probably still finding that out this morning as they continue with their investigation. But one of the key notes and details was that Tash told officers he was in contact with the girl, 16-year-old girl, through a chat-based app. And he drove to Jonesboro to pick her up. A lot of times when you're talking about, people using Snapchat or some other service that allows, even at this point, Facebook Messenger allows anonymous messaging in between people, that will be used by people to hide the messages or hide the contacts between people. And it's unfortunate because whenever you see those on your child's phone, it's almost a red alert to investigate for parents out there, so to speak. And of course, that's, as it seems in this case and others we've heard about and reported before here on NEA Report, it's a link oftentimes that is a precursor for a child to use to run away. So it was early this morning that Tash was booked in to the Craighead County Detention Center. It showed to be in the 1 o'clock hour that he was booked in, which makes sense because we received at 12:45, just 45 minutes after midnight, early this morning, we received the email from Jonesboro Police Corporal David McDaniel, he's the public information officer, that the girl was found in Poplar Bluff, and they were currently in the process at that time of getting her back with her family. That's now since happened. We got that email then, which would indicate, of course, it was around midnight, probably, that police were in contact with Tash, making it possible that he worked the third shift in Pocahontas at a location. I mean, I'm sure we all could take a guess as to where that is. In fact, I'll open up chat because there could be some people in chat literally saying that right now. Not exactly sure, but there are, there's at least one very large factory there that operates for several different shifts, including third shift, which is when that would be. Police made contact with him there, and thankfully, somebody spoke up. So important in a case like this that somebody was able to speak up, because it said detectives received information that led them to the vehicle seen in that video footage. That car that is actually the cover photo for the story posted at neareport.com. That was what led police to being able to find this man, this guy that looks like Kylo Ren, and also to be able to find the young girl whom, as we mentioned before, 16-year-olds, they have impressionable minds and a lot of emotions. So for somebody that's 8 years older, would it be, I guess? There's a big difference there in maturity, and you've got to take care of a situation like that, and the community has to come together just as the community did in this case. So, thankful for everybody that shared this or even shared the other stories like KIT's story and just got involved and tried to get the information out. We'll never know who the exact person was that shared it into the eyes and into the timeline of whoever saw it, but no doubt the public's response played a big role in solving this and getting the young girl back with her family, and in the arrest of this individual, a 24-year-old from Poplar Bluff who worked in Pocahontas and came to a high school to pick up a 16-year-old that he was chatting with on a chat-based app, WhatsApp maybe, or Snapchat, or there's other ones. There's plenty of other ones, and those just are. It's unfortunate because those are. It seems like a key for predators and for people that have ill intent with children to use to communicate with them, because it subverts the parent's ability to keep eyes on what the child's talking about. Of course, at the age of 16, it's hard to keep an eye on your child anyway. They're a young adult at that point. So, it's difficult at that point for a parent, an adult themselves, to be able to watch every single move. And I just knew it had to be difficult for the family. And we wanted to make sure that we gave this the coverage that we could to try our best to get as many eyes as we could on that car. And, who knows how that it happened, but we're glad to see that it happened, that detectives received the information that led them to getting this guy in custody and to getting the girl, more importantly, back with her family and safe. Keegan Bryce Tash, 24, of Poplar Bluff, is facing a Class C felony, interference with custody. He will have a probable cause hearing in court soon. He was booked into Craighead County Detention Center early this morning. It was about 1:30-ish, give or take 20 minutes, that he was booked into there. Detectives at least were in contact with him around the midnight hour, and it would seem, that they were able to locate, with whatever information he gave them, they were able to locate the girl by contacting Baxter County authorities and coordinating with the sheriff's deputies there, who contacted the young girl at Tash residence in Poplar Bluff. So as we feared, she was taken across state lines. A lot of folks were saying, look at Arkansas State, see if anybody's there, but it was strange because the individual had Arkansas plates, but as we saw here, he technically did live in Missouri. However, it's fortunate that we were able to, as a community, come together and pull together and put all the information together and achieve thankfully, a happy ending to this story, because sometimes they don't end happily. We want everybody to, as this is one of the situations that now has ended, fortunately, we want everybody to use this and take this as a learning lesson, because you can have a conversation with your child, perhaps, that might be very important and very influential. Even though that this situation had a happy ending, a lot of times families don't get as fortunate. A lot of times these situations end with the child not in the arms, so to speak, of who they thought they were going to be. Sometimes it's human trafficking. That happens a lot more than people realize. People are bought and sold into human indentured servitude, slavery, still, but it's an underground criminal enterprise now. And it's those high stakes that make it so important for the community and for parents to take this kind of stuff seriously. So we thank everybody that did. We appreciate everybody that shared, watched, and liked this last night, and also that just perhaps takes a little extra time and caution to, do what they can to spread a very important message, from this, and that is just that teens have to, you have to monitor their emotions. You have to also inform them of the dangers that can happen, and even sometimes then, you never know, that may not be enough. And in that case, the community has to come together just like it did in this instance. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Just going to go through and look through the chat one more time. It says, somebody mentioned what happened. Just a quick update. The girl was found. She was found in Poplar Bluff at the home of the man you're looking at, Keegan Bryce Tash. She was arrested in Pocahontas. It was in the early hours this morning, or perhaps right around midnight, that he was arrested. Around 12:45, she was found by Baxter County authorities. They were coordinating with authorities in Randolph County and, of course, Jonesboro Police. And then at 1:45 or so, this gentleman was booked into the Craighead County Sheriff's Office. Continuing to look through the chats here, just seeing if anything. I guess some folks noticed it looked like he worked at Pico, they said, which was where I was figuring, because it said he worked third shift, and you're not going to make contact with somebody in Pocahontas working third shift at very many places. Oh, there's a good guy. That's good. And not sure anything else. So we appreciate everybody for joining us, sharing, liking, and helping us to get the word out last night and, of course, today, as we're bringing this information along to you here on NEA Report. It's a Class C felony is the likely charge for Mr. Tash, the 24-year-old who showed up to Valley View yesterday, allegedly, to pick up a 16-year-old girl. That's just not, it's one of those kind of things that the community comes together on and can't tolerate. We appreciate everybody for joining us on NEA Report. I'm Stan Morris reporting. Thank you all for joining us.